She wasn't looking for perfect, she was looking for safe, and he knew exactly how to look like both. Claire Morgan met Nathan Reed on a Tuesday in October. The air was crisp, the city washed in gold and rust. She wasn't looking for love, not after the last one ended with gaslighting, therapy, and 2 years of silence. But Nathan was different. He noticed things. The way she stirred her coffee counterclockwise. The nervous laugh she gave when she didn't believe compliments. He never pushed, never performed. He just showed up, softly, consistently. The kind of man who asks how your mother is and remembers the answer a week later. They dated for a year, and in that time, Claire felt her walls lower like morning fog. Nathan made it easy. He was a software engineer, calm by nature, introverted but emotionally fluent. He read novels, liked jazz, didn't drink much, and never once raised his voice. To her friends, Claire said the same thing every time. I feel like I can breathe with him. By month 8, she moved into his condo on the quiet side of town. It had white walls, a minimalist kitchen, and a playlist always humming in the background. They adopted a rescue dog named Benny. Nathan added Claire's name to the lease before she even asked. One night, as they sat on the couch watching an old movie, Nathan turned to her and said, "If I ever hurt you, I want you to leave. No explanations, just go." Claire stared at him, half smiling. "Why would you say that?" "Because good people do bad things sometimes. I just want you to remember that you're allowed to walk away." She kissed him on the shoulder and said, "You're not the kind of man I'll ever need to walk away from." He proposed on a rainy Sunday, barefoot in the living room, holding a ring that belonged to his late mother. This was the only thing she said to save for someone I'd never want to lose. Claire said yes through tears. The wedding was small, intimate. Just close friends, family, and the sound of jazz playing low in the garden air. Nathan wore a gray suit and a shy smile. Claire wore ivory and no veil. She said she didn't want to hide a single part of herself from him. Everyone said they were the couple that gave them hope. After the wedding, they spent a week in a cabin by the lake. No phones, no internet, just coffee, books, laughter, and that intoxicating illusion that life had finally aligned. Claire kept a journal. On the last page, she wrote, "I don't think I believe in perfect, but if perfect ever existed, it wore his name." What she didn't know, as she closed that journal and slipped it into her nightstand, was that someone else, somewhere out there, was already watching, waiting. And 3 days later, they would send her a message. No greeting, no signature, just a sentence that would make the blood drain from her face. "He's not who you think he is." It came in the middle of breakfast. The kind of morning where everything feels still, right before it shatters. Claire was slicing strawberries when her phone buzzed on the counter. Nathan was upstairs, humming softly as he got dressed for work. Benny sat by the window, ears perked at passing cars. A scene of domestic peace, a morning without questions. Until that screen lit up. No contact, no thread, just one message. He's not who you think he is. Claire stared at it, waiting for context, a follow-up, a joke, but none came. She picked up the phone, read it again, 3 times. The words didn't change. Her first instinct was denial, the brain's reflex to anything that threatens safety. Probably spam, a wrong number, maybe someone trying to scam her, prey on fear. But something about the phrasing made her stomach turn.
It wasn't random. It was specific. He's not who you think he is. Not he's lying. Not he cheated. Just he isn't what you believe. Nathan walked into the kitchen then, adjusting his tie. "You okay?" he asked. Claire smiled, too quickly. "Yeah, just weird spam." She slipped the phone into her pocket and forced herself to act normal. Coffee, keys, kiss on the cheek. But her mind raced. After he left for work, she tried to trace the message. No name, no email, just a masked number and a single sentence that felt like a door cracking open. She didn't respond. Instead, she searched Nathan's name online. She'd done it before, early on, but now she looked differently. Not for curiosity, for confirmation. His LinkedIn was still there. Posts about software updates, a TED Talk he once shared about ethical coding, comments from colleagues calling him brilliant, reliable, calm. She checked court records. Nothing, arrests, lawsuits, clean. His Facebook hadn't been active in a year. Claire clicked through old photos, vacations, dinners, a few images with an older woman, his mother, she assumed, deceased now. She paused on one photo. Nathan at the beach, holding the camera. Behind him, a woman in sunglasses, not tagged, not familiar. Claire zoomed in. The woman had her arm hooked around his waist, her body language casual, close, familiar. The date on the post? 8 months before they met. Claire frowned. He'd said he was single for over a year before her. It was small, trivial maybe, but when someone plants a seed of doubt, even healthy roots begin to shake. That night she mentioned the beach photo casually. "Who's the woman in that picture from California?" Nathan looked up from his laptop. "Which one?" She showed him. "Oh, that's an old friend. We went to college together. She was visiting. Nothing serious." "Were you dating her?" He blinked. "No, just hanging out." Claire nodded, smiled. But something inside her had shifted, not from his answer, but from how easily it came. 2 days passed. The message still sat in her inbox. No follow-up, no signature. Until a second one arrived. This time, ask him what happened in Charleston, March 2019. Claire dropped her phone. Her heart thundered in her ears. She'd never heard him mention Charleston, never heard the year 2019 spoken with any weight. But now the name of that city felt like a trap door in her marriage, and she had no idea what waited beneath it.
Chapter 3. Traces of a Stranger. You think you know someone until a word, a place, rearranges everything you remember about them. Charleston, March 2019. Claire repeated it like a mantra, not because she recognized it, but because she didn't. And that absence of memory felt like a warning. That night, after Nathan fell asleep, Claire lay next to him in silence. His breathing was slow, steady, the kind of calm only someone without a secret could fake, or someone who had spent a long time perfecting the performance. She got up quietly, padded barefoot to the living room, and opened her laptop. Charleston, South Carolina, March 2019. Nathan Reed. At first, nothing. Generic listings, real estate pages, weather history. But then, deep into a local blog archive, she found a single line. Still no updates on the March 2019 disappearance of Amelia Hartman, 31, last seen leaving a business tech seminar in Charleston. Witnesses last recall her in the company of a man not yet identified. Claire's blood turned cold. She clicked the article. It was sparse, no photos, no names mentioned beyond Amelia's, but the timing matched, the location, and the man she was seen with, described only as tall, white, mid-30s, clean-cut, soft-spoken. It could have been anyone. But Claire had seen that combination before, every time she looked at her husband. She kept searching. She found Amelia Hartman's missing person page, a grainy photo, brown hair, kind eyes, a teacher, engaged at the time. Claire closed the browser. Her hands trembled. This wasn't evidence, it wasn't proof, but it was a crack, and now she couldn't stop looking through it. The next morning, she waited for Nathan to leave for work before searching the apartment. She wasn't sure she was even looking for anything. A photo, a document, a slip of memory left behind in a drawer. Most things were clean, organized, sanitized even, until she found the box. Buried in the back of Nathan's closet behind winter coats he never wore was a small wooden box with no lock. Inside, a folded receipt from a hotel in Charleston, March 14, 2019. 1 room, 1 night. A set of Polaroids, mostly landscapes, but one in particular caught her eye. A blurred image of Nathan at a cafe table. Across from him only an arm, a woman's resting gently on his wrist, and a ring, small, silver, with the initials A.H. etched inside. Claire didn't cry, not yet. She just sat on the floor, her back against the closet door, staring at the initials until they stopped looking like letters and started looking like questions. When Nathan came home that night, she acted normal. Dinner, laughter, a story about a co-worker's bad haircut. But her eyes kept drifting to his hands. Steady hands. Hands that held her with love, and now, possibly, with lies. Before bed, Nathan kissed her on the forehead. "Everything okay?" he asked. Claire nodded. "Just tired." He smiled and turned off the light. And Claire lay in the dark, holding on to a secret he didn't know she had uncovered, yet. The man she married had a story she hadn't been told, and she was done waiting for him to volunteer the truth.
Chapter 4. The Other Life. She thought she'd married a man with a past. What she didn't know was that part of it never ended. Claire waited 3 days. 3 days of pretending, performing, smiling through the storm building behind her ribs. She knew now that whatever Nathan was hiding, it was real, and it was dangerous. She couldn't confront him without knowing everything. So she reached out. She messaged the anonymous number. "Who are you?" No answer. "Why are you doing this?" Still silence. "What happened in Charleston?" This time, a reply came. She trusted him too. Look where that got her. Claire felt something twist inside her. Not fear, not yet, but something close, like the recognition of a shadow moving behind her. She dug deeper. Using the hotel receipt she found in Nathan's closet, she called the front desk, pretending to be confirming a past stay for tax purposes. "Mr. Reed?" the receptionist said. "Yes, March 14th, 2019. 1 adult, checked in at 3:27 p.m., checked out the next morning." "1 adult?" Claire asked, voice careful. Yes, solo booking. She thanked them and hung up. But the ache in her stomach deepened. The photo, the one with the woman's hand, proved he wasn't alone. He lied to the hotel. Or someone lied for him. That night, she searched his emails. She hadn't done that before. She didn't believe in spying, not until trust cracked open like bone. One folder stood out, archived, hidden. Inside were 3 emails, all from the same sender, Amelia Hartman 83 @gmail.com. Her breath caught in her throat. The first email was dated February 28, 2019. I'm scared. You said this wouldn't get serious. You said it was just a way to escape. The second came days later. I can't keep this secret from him. He deserves to know the truth. I'm not the kind of person who cheats. The final email, sent March 13th, the day before Charleston. Please meet me. One last time. I need closure. After that, I won't contact you again. No replies. Just those 3 messages sitting quietly in his archive like ghosts. Claire closed the laptop. She didn't need a confession anymore. She had something more damning. His silence, his careful deletion, his choice to bury a woman whose last digital breath reached for him and was never acknowledged. The next morning, she stood in the kitchen, hands trembling as she poured coffee. Nathan walked in, smiling. Morning, beautiful. Claire watched him, really watched him. The way he avoided eye contact, the way his smile reached his lips but never his eyes. She asked, carefully, Have you ever been to Charleston? Nathan froze for half a second, then smiled again. A few years ago for a work seminar. Why? She didn't press, didn't reveal what she knew. Not yet. That night, she searched Amelia's old workplace, a school in North Carolina. She asked for a staff member who no longer there and got transferred to the principal. Amelia Hartman? The woman said. God, yes, we still keep her photo up. Beautiful girl. We all believed she just ran away, but it never felt right. Claire asked if Amelia had ever mentioned someone named Nathan. There was a long pause. Not directly, but she was seeing someone. She never named him. We thought she was being careful because he was married. Claire dropped the phone. Her hands were ice, her heart a drumline. She hadn't just married a man with secrets. She had married a man who might have erased someone. And now she was next to him every night, breathing beside someone who had practiced how to hide.
Chapter 5. The Confrontation. There's a moment before the truth comes out where everything still feels safe, and you almost wish you could stay there forever. Claire couldn't sleep anymore. She lay beside Nathan night after night, listening to his breathing, watching his chest rise and fall, wondering how much of him was real and how much was performed. By now, she had the fragments, the hotel receipt, the emails from Amelia, the photo, the voice of a school principal who remembered a girl that vanished. But no confession, no final piece. Until it didn't matter anymore. Because what lived between them now wasn't trust, it was fear. And fear has a way of forcing the truth into the light. One evening, Claire told Nathan they needed to talk. He was chopping vegetables for dinner. He paused, looked up. Sure, he said, knife still in hand. Sit down, Claire said, her voice steady, more than she expected. Nathan obeyed, quietly. I found the box, she began. He didn't speak.
I found the emails, the receipt, the ring. Still nothing. Then finally, he said, "You went through my things." Claire stared. "That's all you have to say?" He exhaled. "What do you want to know?" "I want the truth, Nathan. Who was Amelia? What happened in Charleston?" Nathan leaned back, eyes unfocused. "We met at a seminar. She was engaged. I was lonely. It started as something light. It got too intense. She wanted more. I didn't." "Did she threaten to tell him?" "Yes." "Did you hurt her?" "No." Claire felt her body tense. "Then where is she?" "I don't know." "You're lying." "I'm not." But his voice cracked. Claire stood. "She disappeared, Nathan, after seeing you. Her last message begged you to meet her. And then she vanished." "And I did meet her. We talked. She cried. I told her it was over. I left her at the cafe. That's all I know." "Then why did you hide it? Why keep her emails? Why keep her ring?" He hesitated. "Because I felt guilty." "Or because you needed to remember what you'd done?" His face hardened. "You think I killed her?" Claire didn't answer. The silence between them was louder than anything they'd said. Then she asked, finally, "Why didn't you tell me?" He looked at her like she'd asked the wrong question. "Because I wanted you to love who I wanted to be, not who I was." Claire felt tears rising, but she didn't let them fall. "I can't be married to a question. I can't wake up every day wondering what else you buried." Nathan stepped forward. "Claire." She stepped back. "No, you don't get to beg now. You got to rewrite the truth for years. You don't get my sympathy too." He sat down, defeated. "I didn't hurt her, I swear." "Maybe not with your hands, but you left her bleeding anyway." She left that night. No suitcase, no goodbye. Just the sound of the door closing behind her and a man who finally realized that some lies don't need blood to be fatal.
Chapter 6. The choice she didn't expect to make. Sometimes the hardest decision isn't whether to leave. It's what kind of silence you choose to leave behind. Claire didn't go to her parents' house. She didn't call her friends. She booked a hotel on the other side of the city and sat in the dark for hours, staring at her own reflection. She felt numb, not from shock, but from confirmation. Nathan hadn't confessed to a crime. He hadn't broken down or screamed. He hadn't begged. And that scared her more than anything. Because people who are innocent don't protect their secrets like graves. But Claire wasn't the police. She wasn't Amelia's family. She was just the woman who wore his ring and now carried the weight of knowing who he really was. In the following days, she started making her choice. Not quickly, not from anger, but from clarity. She contacted Amelia's family anonymously, sent the emails, the photo, the receipt. No name, no explanation. Just a package of truth they never got from the system. She filed for annulment, citing emotional fraud. Nathan didn't fight it. In the final court hearing, he didn't look at her once, just signed the documents and left without a word, as if disappearing quietly was the last thing he knew how to do well. Weeks passed. Claire moved into a small apartment above a bookstore. Quiet neighborhood, new phone number, new locks. She adopted a second dog, not for companionship, but because she refused to live in silence. Sometimes people asked what happened, why the marriage ended so suddenly. She always answered the same way. I realized I was sharing my life with someone who didn't deserve to be believed. But late at night, when she lay in bed, there were still questions. Where was Amelia? What really happened that night in Charleston? Was Nathan dangerous or just deeply broken? She would never know for sure, and somehow that was her answer. One evening, she wrote in her journal for the first time in months. The same journal she had once filled with dreams and vows and words like forever. Now, she wrote, "You don't always get justice. Sometimes, all you get is the chance to walk away with your eyes open." And for Claire, that was enough. Because survival isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. It's the simple act of choosing yourself after someone else tried to rewrite your story.
Not every lie is loud. Some whisper themselves into your life until you forget how silence is supposed to feel. Claire never got answers, and maybe she never will. But what she got was something people forget to chase: freedom. Because staying with someone who lies is a slow death, not of the body, but of the self. And she chose to live. If you've ever trusted someone so completely, only to discover they were living a second life, if you've ever had to walk away without closure, then you know what it means to survive something that doesn't leave bruises, but leaves you changed. Tell us in the comments, have you ever found out the truth too late? What would you have done in Claire's place? We read every word, because this channel exists for people who were betrayed and still had the strength to choose themselves. If this story moved you, like it. Subscribe for more stories that don't offer easy endings, but offer emotional justice. And share this with someone who needs to hear. You are allowed to leave, even if no one believes your reason. This was Betrayal and Forgiveness, where secrets end and clarity begins.